Right, hello, ladies and gentlemen. So, before we get into today's episode, I just want to let you know that this week I am doing a big enrollment drive for my signature program, the Online Summit Program. Now, specifically, I'm looking for hikers who want to get strong and pain free so they can conquer any adventure. So, if that sounds like you, if you've got a big trip coming up, if you've got an ache or pain holding you back, or you simply just want to improve your physical condition for your adventures, I would love to hear from you. If you want to find out more about this program, all you need to do is go to summitstrength.com.au/apply, and I'll leave a link for that in the show notes below. From there, you can book a call into my calendar personally, and we can have a bit of a chat. I can talk you through how it all works. You can talk me through your situation, and we can really see if and how this may be right for you, your goals, and your hiking. So if you want to find out more, go to summitstrength.com.au/apply. Now, with that all being said, today I want to talk a little bit about goal setting. And I want to talk about a really handy strategy and a really awesome strategy that you can use to make 2023 a success. Because when it comes to the turning over of the new year, quite a lot of us are really good at setting big goals, big things we want to achieve, big New Year's resolutions. It may be a case of like you've said, okay, in 2023, I want to do this particular hike. I want to challenge myself and do this big hike. Maybe it's a big thing that's been on your bucket list for a while. Maybe it's your first overnighter hike. Maybe it's your first multi-day or whatever it may be. And maybe you've set yourself, that's the goal you want to achieve this year. Or maybe you set yourself like, the 52 hike challenge and you sort of said, look, in this year, I'm going to do 52 hikes. Or maybe you want to run a marathon, or maybe you want to lose some weight, or whatever it is. We're all pretty good at setting ourselves big things we want to achieve over the year. And this is all well and good, and it's great to set these big goals, and something I highly encourage, because having a sort of driving force of something you really want to achieve over the year is definitely a good thing. But, I'm not really going to talk about that so much today, because it's something most of us got a pretty good handle on. What I do want to talk about today is one thing and one strategy which often gets overlooked. But if you do this strategy, if you put a bit of time, put a bit of attention into this one thing can make such a dramatic difference over the period of a year. And this is all about setting one tiny, regular habit that you're going to do for the year. Now, there's this old saying that goes, we typically overestimate what we can accomplish in a month, and we underestimate what we can accomplish in a year. And what that is, like kind of translated, is, we're pretty good at setting ourselves these big goals we want to achieve. And sometimes we'll say, this month or in the next couple of months, I want to do this. And I want to achieve this. Or I want to make all these changes and, become the fittest person I've ever been, or maybe drop all this weight, or save all this money, or whatever it may be. And typically when we're looking at these shorter term goals, most of the time, a lot of us do overestimate what we can achieve. And they're like, I want to, become, be able to run a marathon in like 6 weeks. And, maybe it gets to 6 weeks and you're like, oh, nowhere near what I am and where I am. And people are really good at overestimating this. However, we're really good at underestimating what we can achieve in a year over the period of month after month after month after month. And quite often when we look at our 12-month goals and we say we want to accomplish this, quite often we don't set those goals high enough. And the same thing when we're looking at 2-year, 3-year, 4-year, 5-year goals or whatever it is. And we really poorly have a good grasp on what we can actually achieve. And essentially what I want to talk about today with this in mind is sometimes even the smallest actions, if you're consistent with it, can add up to a dramatic difference over the period of a year. And if you did these small actions just for 1 month or 2 months, you probably wouldn't see a dramatic difference. But if you do month after month after month after month, by the time you get to January next year, it can honestly change your life. Now, to give you a bit of an example on here, I want to use my own goal setting from last year as an example. Now, each year at the turn of the year, me and my wife, we sit down and we do a bunch of goal setting. It's a nice thing we've been doing for the last, 4 years or something like that. And we have this big list of questions we ask each other and ourselves, and we sort of write down bits and pieces around it. And essentially, we set down tasks, we set down goals, we set down insights in regards to our personal lives, like us individually. We set down financial goals, relationship goals for us, together. We set down social goals of things we want to do with our family or our friends. And then I also do some business goal setting separately. And one of my personal goals at the start of last year was I wanted to get back into creative writing and not writing about business, about hiking, nothing to do with summer strength, but purely creative writing, because it's something that I really used to enjoy and something that, I have long-term aspirations to be able to do and have a part of my life. And last year I was like, you know what, it's time to do this. It's time to get back into it. And I want to get back in the swing and I want to start writing again, basically. So what I said, and I was looking at this 12-year goal, 12-month goal, I should say. What I said at the start of the year was like, look, 5 days a week, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to do 20 minutes of writing, whether it's just writing free form, whether it's learning about writing, doing exercises, doing whatever's, 20 minutes, 5 days a week. That's what I wanted to do. And then I thought about it a little bit more and I was like, how am I going to fit that into my life? Because obviously running a business gets pretty busy, typically, it's sometimes hard to concentrate when I've got all that going on. And I was like, the way I'm going to do this is first thing in the morning, before I even get into exercise, before I get to my work or anything like that, I'm going to sit down and write. Just make a coffee and I'm going to do a bit of writing. And that's when I set myself a commitment. 20 minutes of writing, 5 days a week, first thing in the day. And it went off. And the first month or two, it all went pretty smoothly. I was doing it every day. It was really good. I was enjoying it. I was getting better and all of this. Then something came up. I can't remember. I think I got really busy or whatever it may be, and I dropped out of it. And then I picked it up again after a few weeks, and I was like, you know what? I set myself this goal. I want to do it. Picked it up. Did that for a while, then dropped out of it. And then picked it up and dropped out of it. And over the year, there was lots of things that got in the way. I had busy periods. I was sick. I had to sleep in. I had, little periods where I wanted to do something else in the first morning. And it wasn't a really smooth run. And I wasn't doing this constantly for 12 months. But every time I dropped out of it, I'll pick it up again. And essentially over the year, looking back, over the 12 months, I probably got about 7 months of this particular habit out of 12, which isn't perfect, but in all honesty, it's pretty good. But looking at myself now, looking back to where I was 12 months ago, I'm so far above and beyond where I was previously. Even just doing this small amount every day, and I wasn't even that consistent, like comparatively. I've written thousands and thousands and thousands of words. My writing skills are way, 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 way beyond where they were. I'm way more creative than I was. And looking back, I'm like, you know what? I've made strides with this. All because I set myself this tiny goal that I would do. So in amongst all the New Year craziness, this is one thing I highly recommend you have a think about. What is something you want to achieve this year? Is it improve your fitness? Is it sort of taking charge of your health? Is it sort of, reducing stress? Is it learning a new skill or whatever it is? And what is the smallest possible thing that you can do each week which will help you towards this? Now, if we're talking about training for hiking, here are a few ideas, really, really simple. You might say, okay, every single day, I'm going to do 5 minutes of strength exercises. Doesn't matter what the day, doesn't matter what's going on. Every single day, I'm going to do 5 minutes. Or alternatively, it might be every single day I'm going to do 5 minutes of stretching or whatever. It might involve every single week I'm going to go for some type of walk. It doesn't have to be a full hike, but it's going to be some type of longer walk or whatever. Or if you're looking at stress reduction, maybe it might be a case of, look, I had a really stressful year last year. I want to make a bit of change on that. Maybe every single day I'm going to carve out 5 minutes to do some deep breathing. Or every single day I'm going to carve out 5 minutes to do some journaling. Or if it's financial, I don't know what financial would be, but it's something small like that, or whatever. But really, really have a think about what you want to achieve and think about what's the smallest thing you can commit yourself to over these next 12 months. Write it down and put it somewhere that you'll see. And for me, I put this on my fridge, so I'd see it every time I open up the fridge. And I really do think this is in amongst the big goal setting you do, in amongst all the big changes you want to make this year if you want to doing that. Have a think about this one small thing. And I guarantee you, if you put your effort into it, put the attention to it, remind yourself, get back on track every time you fall out, even if you're not perfect, over the next 12 months, it can dramatically change things for you. And I really do think it'll serve you well. Now, with all that's been said, I think this is a great strategy and great idea for long-term change. And I highly encourage everyone listening to give it a go. But obviously at the start of the year, if you are coming into January, you're red hot, ready to roll, ready to make some serious changes, ready to get yourself, in the best possible shape for your hiking or whatever it may be, and you're really, really looking to kick things off to start the new year's off, for me, I would love to help you if your goals, if your changes are related to training for hiking. Now, as I sort of said at the start of this episode, this week I am doing a big enrollment for my signature program, the Online Summit Program. Essentially, I want to find hikers who want to get fit, strong, and resilient so they can conquer every adventure. Now, if that sounds like you and you want to learn a little bit more and see if and how one of our programs, one of our options may be right for you, your goals, your situation, and your hiking, what I'd like you to do is go to summitstrength.com.au/apply, and you can find a link to book a call into my calendar and we can have a chat about it all. The call's absolutely free, no pressure at all, but if you were interested in getting some help and learning about this, I strongly encourage you to check it out. So if you want to find out more, go to summitstrength.com.au/apply and we can have a chat from there. So aside from that, thank you so much for listening today. I really do hope you've enjoyed the episode. I hope you put this strategy into action. And I really do hope over the next 12 months, it can make a big, big, big difference for you. So thanks so much for listening and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.